Well, hello, nice to see you all back in the best class there is, geometry. So this is our first attempt at a online tutorial, and where we last left off was the last two sections of Ready to Go On 7.4, 7.5, because we're getting ready for a quiz. You guys are actually going to have a quiz in your first week back, so we want to start reviewing. And so what I've gone ahead and have done is selected out 4 of the problems from that Ready to Go On just as a review for those of you who may have been stuck, kind of refresh your memory, because our first assignment is going to be the Chapter 7. I'm sorry, the first thing is you'll have a quiz on this after reviewing. So this is a chance to begin that review and ask further questions because the first quiz is coming. But don't worry, we're gonna take it kind of easy on you. It's a nice short one. So let's start here with question number 1. And this was all about proportions, if you remember. It's all about looking for that if you had this criteria met that you have 2 parallel lines, then the segments that they cut off are proportional. And the question, I think, for number 1 is they're asking for this missing length, ST. So the key is to make sure you set up the correct proportion. So there's more than one way to do it, but quickly we can see that we can match 12 with 14. That would be equivalent to then the 16 over x. Okay, and once you have your proportion set up properly, it's the same way you solve it every single time. That's right, cross multiply and divide. Okay, so if we multiply those together, we're going to get the 12x is equal to, forget our x, 12x is equal to 14 times 16. Let me go ahead and just say this. I can do it up on the board, but since you're home, one of the advantages now is calculators are perfectly fine. There's no problem with you using a calculator at home. So for the sake of time and keeping this video as short as possible, let's just rock and roll right here. So 14 times 16 should get 224. The setup versus the multiplication practice is what we're trying to practice. So then if we want to solve for x, divide by 12. Both sides, so x is equal to, let's check that, divided by 12, we get 18 and 2/3, or 0.67. 18.67, or 18 and 2/3. And that is not just x, that is the length of ST. Okay, so set up the proportion, cross multiply and divide, and you're good to go. And so here's the other type of problem we'll see with that. This is number 2 now, is that just as parallel lines cut off proportional segments, angle bisectors, that's what this is designated, AD is an angle bisector of angle A, then that means that these distances here are all proportional. So we can set up a proportion in the exact same way. I can take my AB, which is 4y minus 1, to 6. And that is equivalent to, follow the same pattern, 5y as it would be to this distance 8 here. How do we solve? Going to get sick of this. Cross multiply. And then we'll divide. This one's a little trickier because now we have expressions, 4y minus 1 and 5y. But it doesn't really make it that much more difficult. We just go a little slower. We have 8 times the 4y minus 1 equals 6 times 5y. Make sure you distribute your 8. So that's 32y minus 8. I'm going to really try to improve my penmanship for you guys. Zoom in on this, trying to write as big as I can. We'll figure out how this works. 6 times 5y, 30y. So now we want to get the y's together, opposite of the constant, so we can solve for y by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 30y on both sides. So that cancels out. So I get 2y minus 8 equals 0. Notice we need that 8 by itself, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Good old algebra, balancing and restoring. 2y equals 8. Divide by 2. So we left with y equals 4. Now, if that's your option on a multiple choice test, don't pick it, because if you look at question number 2, it says they want the distance of AC and AB. So that's not our final answer. We want to plug it in. So AC is equivalent to, let's start with AC, 4 times y. So that's actually just going to be 20. That's a final answer. Box your answers. You're going to cam scan those in. They got to look good. And AB is 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 1, 15. We plugged it into this expression right here. So our two distances, 20 and 15. Too easy. Too easy. Okay, same exact problem. I think I left some marks off this. Yeah. That if these are parallel, so we'll get our red guy up here. Same idea. The segments cut off by parallel lines. So here, 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 and here, they're all proportional. So we just want to go ahead and write our proportion. Again, I pick 2 and just be consistent with how you set it up. 3.6 to 2.4 is the same as, we'll call this x, because I think they're having you find FH in this particular problem. So that x is to 2. Okay, you've got your nice proportion. Mr. Olmsted just walked in. Is you're going to cross multiply and divide. And so you have 2.4x equals 2 times 3.6. Again, you got these decimals, have no problem with you using a calculator on that. So that's going to be 7.2 equals 2.4x divided by 2.4 on both sides. Cancels out. X is equal to, let's go ahead and check it. Should have known that. Just good old 3. So x is equal to 3, which is the distance of FH. Okay, so notice 3 different situations, but you're doing the same thing in all 3. You're setting up a proportion, keeping your sides consistent, and then cross-multiplying and dividing. Same exact thing for this last problem with one little twist. You can go back to the video and look at this work. I'm going to erase it right now. And we'll look at number 8. This is called indirect measurement, where again you can have something in its shadow with another object in its shadow, and because you can set up a proportion, we can find the missing height of this black lollipop, or I think it's some sort of strange shaped water tower in the book. The trick here is that you've got mixed units here. You've got this 5 feet and 10 inches, 5 feet and 3 inches. So other than setting up the proportion, again, would be very simple right away. You would sit there and just put the heights of the person, 5'3", and 5'10", is equivalent to our missing x over 40. Problem is, this is kind of hard to calculate because you've got the mixed feet and inches. So what I recommend, there are different ways you can approach this. Let me write that a little better. Is I'm just going to change these all into inches so that I have a set number that I can input. So you've got 5 feet. How many inches in a foot? That's right, 12. So you've got 5 times 12 is 60. So there's 60 inches in that 5 feet plus 3 more. So this can be rewritten as 63 inches. 5 feet again. Okay, what was that, Amalia? What are you, 5'3"? 5 times 12, 60 again, but plus 10 inches, so that's 70 inches. Okay, and now with those two set numbers, by the way, don't put this as decimals, 5.3, 5.1. Those numbers are incorrect. So now that we've got them all in inches, you are set to go. And I think you already know what to do here. We'll probably just end the video. Cross multiply and divide. And again, because I'm not interested in your ability to multiply at this point, just to solve, pull out your trusty calculator at home, where then you will have 63 times 40 is equal to 70 times 70, not 76. 70 times x. Once I get that, I'm going to divide by 70. So let's crunch that. 63 times 40 divided by 70. And you got, can't hear you, you guys are asleep just like you are in the mornings at 8 a.m. 36. X is equal to 36. This is a problem, so we put our units in there, 36 feet. That weird shaped water tower is 36 feet tall. Okay, watch it again, play it slowly, get ready. First quiz is coming. It's nice to see you guys. Talk to you later.